What is going on YouTube? Ryan Rooker here with Scrubs Unite. Figured I would give you a meta updated Twilight Sworn deck profile. My bad, that's the wrong extra deck. But I figured I would go ahead and give you the update on the deck profile. Still haven't gotten my hands on, even though I know where I have one, to get my hands on a Twilight Sworn Lumina, so I can finally put the second one in the deck. It's optional really on what you take out for it, but let's get on with the profile. As standard, we do have the 2 JD and the 2 Punishment Dragon. Punishment Dragon's really going to be good in this coming meta, I feel like, because it's a quick effect, and it reshuffles anything non-lightsworn back into the decks from the grave and face-up banished. So they don't get their Pot of Desires banished back, but they get back everything else, and things like Paleo, Cosmo, to an extent, it somewhat hurts the issue with Draco, because you can send it back before they can activate their one spell card or whatever it is that returns 3 to the deck. So it gives opportunities to do things, and it gives you some play disruption as well. We go into the triple Lumina, the double Raiden, the double Wolf. Interesting little fact, the SRO2 errata of Charge of the Light Brigade changed the mill to a cost. I don't know if Wygo Pro has followed that or not. I don't know if people on Dueling Book follow that or not, but the semicolon is after the mill 3 cards. So I don't believe that Wolf would work, because he specifically says a card effect, not by cost of an effect, to activate an effect. 2 Felis, 2 Twilight Jane, 2 Twilight Lumina, well, 2 Twilight Lila, the 1 Twilight Lumina, the 1 Twilight Raikou, because he's actually really good. He lets you just banish one from your hand or grave and then remove 1 problem card on the field. I just don't feel like running more than 1 is optimal, because of the fact you do have to banish from your hand or grave, and running the half lightsworn engine, you do still need to have your grave. The 2 Necroface for recycle, big beat stick, and it's a really big play disruptor, because if you're in like a Paleo matchup, or I actually played Satellar Knights a while back, if you can banish the top 5 to 10 cards of your opponent's deck, really that decimates a lot of their play consistency. And if they're running Pot of Desires and you're running Necroface, you can trim half of their deck out in maybe a play or 2. 1 Snow. I tested it at 2, and I was seeing it more often than I needed to. 1 Math Man and 1 Trick Clown. Spells, you have the triple Charge of the Light Brigade, the triple Solar Recharge, the double Allure of Darkness because of all the dark support you run, the double March of the Dark Brigade, the 2 Twilight Twin Dragons, the Foolish Burial, the Gold Sarcophagus, and the 2 Twilight Eraser. It's still the pretty standard setup that I usually run, the exceptions being that I finally put in the Trick Clown, and I really don't like Trick Clown, but I have to acknowledge it's really good for this deck. 1 Black Rose for the board wipe, 1 Black Rose Moonlight because it does really well in matchups against, like, I'm not going to try to hate on it, but it does bounce back some of the big ships for Cosmo. It's not going to remove the threats, you know, they can still bring it back out quickly, but it does temporarily remove the threat from the board. It also helps dealing with some of the other larger level special summon variant decks. It's even good in a Lightsworn mirror match, because given they can just summon it right back, but it can effectively, like, it can bounce anything like Michael or any other synchro or extra deck based deck, and it can actually bounce back a firewall before it can get its effect going. 1 Zeta, because Zeta is another good answer to Lynx. All the links can't go into defense, and they can't go face down. And Zeta can only target face up attack position special summon monsters. So this card is guaranteed to be able to hit any link in the game. 1 Yazi, Evil of the Yang Zing, because he is the better version of Diamond Dyer, hands down. I mean, he's a level 7 Synchro, which is easier to summon in my opinion, just because it's got more accessibility, because level 3s and 4s are common blends in decks. He's a Diamond Dyer, but he's also 26 and cannot be targeted. Crimson Blader for the anti-high level matchups. You know, I don't really care what matchup it is at that point. It stops JD and PD from lightsworns. It can stop synchro plays. It can stop pretty much any of that. 1 Omega, because Omega's good. 1 Scarlight. 1 Stardust Spark Dragon, because I like having the extra protection fodder. 1 Trish. 1 Leviair. 1 Bujinki Amaterasu, because it lets you get back your Necroface. You can literally banish both Necroface on accident and send top 10, plus whatever else they've sent. And then during your opponent's turn, you can add back Necroface. Next turn, summon it, and you're returning 20 minimum cards, making Necroface a 3200 beat stick. Plus, it refreshes your deck afterwards. And during your turn, you can special summon 1, which makes it even better. 1 Castell, 1 Cowboy, the 1 Minerva, and until I can get a copy of Topologic Bomber Dragon, I am running the Gaia Saber. Sideboard is pretty simple. It doesn't really matter what you run, but I'm running the 2 DD Crow, the 1 BLS, the 1 E Turtle. Because of how Jack Knights are coming out, Magic Bullets are coming out, Weather Painters are coming, I do sideboard the triple Ground Collapse, the 1 Pot of a Quiz, the 2 different Dimension Ground. I'm sideboarding 2 Fiend Comedian because I like the idea of a 30-card mill in a mirror match. And I am running the macro and still sideboarding the 2 Royal Decree. But that's the deck. Not really much to edit, but let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and later.